When you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you play good. And when you play good, you get paid good. Say that 10 times fast, ladies and gentlemen. Deion Sanders is about to get paid because the man has been playing good. Welcome back to an episode of Hightop Sports, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shelton. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Join the family. Join the train that this thing is moving on. And let's dive into why Deion could be and possibly will be landing himself in the top paid coaches of this year. Let's get it. So to see how Deion will get paid, let's take a look at the standings thus far. We've got Nick, Kirby, then Dabo. Those three are championship-winning coaches, so I understand those three. He's not going to pass that. After that, you've got Lincoln Riley, Mel Tucker, Jimbo Fisher, who is also a championship-winning coach, but you've seen what he's done thus far, and they're looking to pay this man $95 million to leave the school. So some schools have made some poor decisions in paying out these coaches. One of mine is Mel Tucker. Mel Tucker really didn't have the shiniest of resumes, but he's a top 10 paid coach right now in Michigan State, and they are floundering currently. Deion Sanders is going to bring an absolute terror to wherever he goes. And Auburn does not mind spending money. They're already paying out their last two coaches in buyouts over worth $40 million. Now, that might think, well, they don't have any money. They don't care. They're so far in the hole at this point, they might as well go ahead and just send it. This is why I think Deion's going to land himself an absolute bag, because coaches, these teams are in a desperate time for desperate needs, which means they will have desperate measures. I also feel that the coaching atmosphere right now is in a weird place where these coaches are getting paid way more than they should, and these schools keep getting burned in these guaranteed contracts. And until we start seeing more of this, I think coaches need to take advantage of this, and I think Deion will. Sean, why does Deion deserve himself to be a top-paid coach? Well, let's look what he's done in just 2 years at Jackson State University. First of all, he has a name. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's going to help massively in recruiting, especially for a school like Auburn, who has diminished the recruiting cycle. Bringing somebody like a Deion Sanders into that atmosphere would be massive for that program. I mean, he was able to flip up Travis Hunter from FSU just a few years ago, the #1 recruit in the country. And he has him just kind of sitting around waiting to be utilized and prioritized to where he should be going. So to be a great coach, you have to have proving factors. I think recruiting is going to be one. Coaching scheme is going to be another. Can you be trusted? Deion's a preacher. My man can go out there and make you want to run through a wall. Did you guys see his I Believe speech on College Game Day? I was ready just to run through the wall when I heard that. The guy can get anybody riled up. It's prime time, baby. He's able to relate to these kids. He's younger than most of these coaches. He still has the swagger. He carries himself very well, and he's creating a brand bigger than himself. Not just prime time, but for the school, right? And with NIL now, name, image, and likeness, how do you not see that? Like, I want to be a part of that. He is constantly putting these guys and these kids on just naturally by creating content and by putting them out there, which is going to translate to recruiting as well, because like, look, I want to not only go play for prime time because he's a great coach, because of his connections, but because he's going to put me out there. Everyone's going to know who I am. Travis Hunter just played his first game, I think either last week or the week before that, and everybody knows who he is, and we will continue to know who he is because it was a #1 recruit who flipped to Jackson State, and we always hear about Deion at Jackson State University. Now, a part of that is, look, he is going to an HBCU school, so we're all excited to see it, but I promise you, if he goes to somewhere like an Auburn, we're all going to want to know how Auburn is going to do. In Auburn, I promise you, will take that risk in bringing somebody like a Deion in to make that big splash. As for coaching, he's 7-0. He's undefeated currently, on his way to probably more than likely his first SWAC championship, as well as an undefeated season. I don't see these guys slowing down with his son at the helm. Now, I think that might be the only caveat that could keep him from going somewhere, because he is coaching his son. I'm sure he can bring his son wherever he wants to go, but that could be something that's in the works that could be holding him back from going one place to another. I don't see Auburn or Deion making any decision, obviously, till the end of the year, but I do expect the talks to start heating up here as we move on. If you can buy him now for, let's say, $8 to $10 million a year, or even just $8.5 million a year, and he can do what he's done at Jackson State in just 2 years, it would be worth the investment. Who else do you go and get right now? Because you're going to go spend that money on Bill O'Brien. You're going to spend more on a Lane Kiffin just because Lane Kiffin has that stature. He already is right around the cusp of a top 10 paid coach. So the only way he leaves to go to Auburn is to move himself up in that bracket. And you know kind of what you're going to get with Lane Kiffin, right? You know the ceiling. I think we can know how far it's going to go. I think Deion will make a better impact at Auburn for, in a sense, less money right away, only because the resume is not as big, but I do believe he's going to land himself into the top 10 with contracts, simply on the things he's been able to do while just at Jackson State University. I mean, the man brought College Game Day to HBCU school for the second time in history, and we all loved it. We all tuned in for it because we all wanted to see what the hype was all about. Important thing at the end of the day is W's. So if he comes to Auburn and doesn't win, that's going to be a factor. But I think Deion has a great head on his shoulders. He's a great offensive mind, great defensive mind. He's a great coach from what he's done thus far, from what we can see. Again, we've all seen the guys translate from the smaller schools to the bigger schools and get absolutely railroaded. So that's always going to be a possibility. Lane Kiffin will obviously be more of a safe choice for an Auburn. But if you're trying to make a splash and where Auburn is currently in recruiting and just as a program in general, where do you go? Do you go somewhere where you can make an impact quick? And sure, you're going to have to pay out of your bag a little bit. Yes, but I think Deion is looking for a massive payday here, boys and girls. So sit tight, relax. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Tune in for the live show every Wednesday at 8:35. Hope to see you guys there. Until next time, I'll see you.